We have to be able to admit when we've been steered wrong and get back on the right path. Guys, this is Ben with the Health Matrix here. We're breaking through the limiting belief systems and ideologies that are keeping people unhealthy and sicker than ever before. Obesity is on the rise. Malnutrition is on the rise. Even in a country like the US, where we have access to everything that we need, diseases, all preventable diseases, are on the rise, including cancers, autoimmune conditions, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, like I said before, skin conditions, you name it, we've got it. Allergies, any type of immune deficiency syndromes. And so what I want to talk about in this video here is something that I wrote down earlier today. So when I make these videos, I just try to get one common thought that goes through my head, usually while I'm doing something completely different, like working out or doing something that gets me to that flow state where I'm not listening to someone else talk, or I'm not listening to a podcast or music or anything like that. I'm just in the moment, letting my body flow. And what came to me was, you look around and at let's say the political polarization in this country right now, and one of the things that I notice for sure is that people are used to being told what to do, and they can't stand saying that they've been lied to, so they can't master their healthy behaviors because their inability to correct the course that they're on, and so terrible health becomes normalized. And so what I mean by that is, we're so out of shape in the United States that it seems normal. Like if you look around you, if you're a really healthy person, really physically fit, you look around you, almost everyone is overweight. People are slovenly, they're sloppy, they're dehydrated, they're eating fast food. It's just not crisp. It's not poignant, it's not healthy, right? But we're so unhealthy now that you see someone that weighs 400 pounds walking down the street and nobody bats an eyelash. Nobody bats an eyelash. Anyway, if you were to go back 50 years ago and find a 400-pound person, I would bet that there would be a lot of people around that would be turning and like looking at that person like, oh my God, like what's going on? We have to help that person. This is terrible. What's happened here? Because 50 years ago, obesity was, I don't want to say unheard of. It was already starting to go up, don't get me wrong, but it was nowhere near what it is right now. These numbers were nowhere near what they are. If you go back 100 years ago, there was basically no obesity. I mean, it was not a thing. There was still illness, there was still things going on, but there was not rampant obesity, type 2 diabetes, and things like this. And so it's become normalized. And then what happens is you hang around your social structures and your social systems, and people get these community, or what they call a community. A lot of times these are loosely knit groups where you get a bunch of yes men, and everyone's talking about their problems, and then someone like me kind of pops in there, and I'm just not having it. I've got my own problems, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to health and behavior, like I don't want to hear people just sit there and complain about their excuses, make excuses about, I had to go to the doctor because my heart medication, and he wants to put me on type 2 diabetes, and it's interacting with this one, and I've got these clots because blah, 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 and a lot of it's just because meanwhile they're like 100 pounds overweight, they're dehydrated, they're eating Fritos. This is obnoxiously bad. And I'm just not going to put up with it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to bust in there and like be an asshole, but I'm just probably not going to be there. People like me aren't going to be around. I don't want to hang around people like that. I want to help people like that, but I don't want to hang around them unless they're really trying to make a change. And so it's been normalized, and it's widespread, and it's institutionalized. That's one of the main points I'll make here. It's been institutionalized because we think that it's normal. We're taught that in school. You don't learn anything about nutrition. Your school lunch program, especially in the United States, is garbage. And then you go to college, and most people aren't learning about nutrition. If you happen to get into nutrition, you're probably not learning the right thing. People are learning the food pyramid. People are learning from the CDC and the FDA and things like that. And once you really, really understand what's going on around here in terms of health and wellness, you know that all these things are terrible. It's in a way, it's meant to make you sick. There's a lot of mistakes and there's a lot of bureaucracies, but in a way, it's meant to make you sick. And that's part of this health matrix that I'm talking about. It's a system of control. Because when you're sick, then companies like pharmaceutical companies are going to profit massively, which we've never seen the likes of this happening before. They love it when people are sick. From their bottom line, they can come out with more and more drugs, more and more surgeries, more and more sick people. I mean, they're just drug dealers with just crackheads running around with endless supply of consumers. And, you know, other like hospitals, I mean, a lot of hospitals even have become more like corporations where like they got to fill those beds. You know, if you're not filling your bed, we got to find some sick people. And you know what? If we don't have any sick people around here, we either got to shut this hospital down, or we got to lay off some of these nurses and doctors, or we got to find us some more sick people, or more, better yet, let's go make some more sick people and fill those beds and fill the bottom line, right? And then it goes all across the spectrum with the psychiatric industries and whatnot, where it's like, okay, now people are a mess physically. There's nowhere to go. They haven't been taught how to be healthy, and now they're stuck in the quagmire. And now they're on all the medications, and it's a vicious cycle. It's terrible. I'm not trying to just be negative. I'm just saying it's terrible. But to break out of it, you got to break free of the matrix. All right. So you have to be willing to admit that you've been lied to. Okay, that's what the biggest thing that I'm getting through this video is. When I got out of school and I learned the food pyramid and I went out to help people with nutrition plans, and I started telling people to do exactly what I was taught, right? And I was taught a lot of good things in school as well, because I was in a smaller school that wasn't so corrupt. But I was teaching people to eat whole grains, for instance. Like 50% of your diet should be whole grains. Oh, it sounds so good, right? It's heart healthy. Keep the fats low. You know, make sure to not have any dairy or meat. And then people were getting more and more obese, so it really wasn't working. It didn't take me very long to figure out that this was not working. I needed to switch it up, and I started really, you know, figuring out that the workouts that people were doing weren't working. None of it was working. So I went out on my own to learn what's going on, and I was like, man, it turns out I've been lied to about a lot of this stuff. And then you go into other realms, which I won't really touch on this video, about, you know, other realms of things going on in the world, and you realize it's not just nutrition and health that we're being lied to about. It's basically everything. It's financial health, it's physical, mental, and psychological health, spiritual health. It's how to navigate through these systems without becoming disastrously in debt and enslaved into the financial system and the big banks and the big corporations. You know, just how to get by in life, you know. And it's like, here's the thing, you got to grab it by the balls, because you can't expect other people to teach you how to do this stuff. Now, I say that with a caveat, because that's my goal, is to help people with their health, nutrition, fitness, right, and psychological health, and eventually financial health too. Get all these things going in a nice direction so you can help other people do the same. We could topple this system eventually, right? That'd be the goal. But you have to admit that you've been wrong, and most people cannot do that. They get through school, they get through with their degree, they learn the same thing that everyone else learned, and they think they're super smart. It's like, oh, bravo, you did a great job. You memorized the same shit that 99% of the same people around this country learned, and you think you're smart because of that, and you wonder why you look exactly like them. Not trying to be mean here, just laying out the facts. You have to admit you've been wrong, your plan's not working, and if it is working, keep going. But if your plan's not working, admit you've been wrong, drop the ego, hit the books, go find the mentor. Don't turn on the news. Turn that crap off. Go find yourself someone that's actually doing what you want to be doing, that looks like the way you want to look, that has the finances that you want to do. If you want to start a business, don't go to business class and learn from someone that just has a textbook. Go out and find someone that started a business. Right, guys? Take control. Admit you've been lied to. Drop the ego. Be vulnerable. And be coachable. All right. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.